Can I be of assistance?
No, sir. Oh, good of you to bring that torch. Would have come in very handy if you'd fetched it round last night.
I see, it's given him an appetite then. Appetite for his breakfast?
Oh, no, this is his tea.
Eh?
You see, the lads at the bakery said to try to live as near to normal as possible.
Oh.
So it's his tea. Like it would be if he'd come off a normal day job, you see. Dab of porridge, bacon and fried bread.
Not to mention the toast.
Swimming in butter and apricot jam. Oh, slippers.
What, on the menu?
No. I promised to warm them for him. It's no more than what he deserves. I missed him, though.
Sorry.
I said I missed him. Oh, well, of course you wouldn't know.
No?
Being single.
Oh, yeah, yes. I suppose that is something that has to be considered.
Still, there's always Saturday. And Sunday, come to think of it.
I suppose it does take it out of him, though, the job.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe not Sunday. He'll need his rest.
Hello, where is he then? Been swallowed up in the night?
He's upstairs freshening up. It's been a long night for him, you know, interminable. Especially them early hours, like from midnight to about 5.
Yeah, but he stood up to it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, they're a different breed, you know, them night workers. Booze.
What, at this time?
No, you see, on a usual day, he'd have gone in for his jar on the way home.
They're closed.
Yeah, no. Hey, Len, you couldn't go and beg a couple of bottles, could you? You know, just to make him feel more ordinary, not so much like a mole.
As you put it like that, Hilda, how can I refuse?
Ta. I'll just fetch the bacon. Oh, Mr. Bishop, about what we was mentioning just now.
Saturday and Sunday.
I wouldn't want you to get the wrong impression. It was more like thinking aloud.
The mind boggles.
No, Mr. Bishop. No, a million times. It's a preposterous proposition, and I'm sure that on reflection you'll regret you ever made it. I'm afraid I see nothing funny in the situation, Mr. Piggott.
Two things funny, lad. Well, funny to me, anyway.
Then I wish you'd enlighten me. I'm in need of a smile.
First, the way you said no. Straight out, direct, no messing. It's out of date, love. The idea these days is never to commit yourself, even to a sneeze.
No is the only possible reply to some overtures.
The second thing I find comical is you thinking that I'll regret having come here. I have regretted some things I've done in haste, but never anything I've gone into carefully, and I've gone into this very carefully.
No.
I only want one little figure.
Mr. Fairclough's tender for this particular plumbing contract is hardly likely to be small.
Well, I think it will be. That's why I want to know what it is. Then I can make my tender smaller.
No.
It wouldn't take a minute. Stroll into his office, as you've every right to, seeing you do his books. Write the figure down. Well, memorise it if you like. Pick up the phone and Bob's your uncle.
I don't do Mr. Fairclough's books all that much. Once every 6 months, perhaps.
Well, make next week that once every 6 months.
No!
Yes, Miss Nugent. Are all them fancy ideas that your boss, if that's all that he is, asks for this place, there'll be so much hot air. Don't forget, I own the leasehold. I say whether he expands or not, or whether he finishes up sitting out in the street with his tenant, Mrs. Sharples, parked beside him. And I'd say Mrs. Sharples was getting a bit old to be losing her own, wouldn't you? So don't be stupid, Miss Nugent. Use your brain box. You're supposed to have one, aren't you?
I just bumped into Mr. Piggott.
Oh,
I told him I was having some more detailed plans drawn up.
did you?
Yes, he patted me on the back. Very encouraging.
Hey,
Yeah,
I've got Burt Whistles on the phone. They say you promised them them window frames today.
I did.
So?
Tell him I broke my hammer. They can have them by Friday.
Look, I'm afraid the best we can do is Friday. Yeah, Friday. Leonard,
Yeah.
we're going to have a chat.
Oh, good. What about?
Organisation.
I'm all for it.
Well, then, flaming well organised. I cannot get on with that tender for phone calls from customers you promised to do jobs for.
We're busy, aren't we?
Look, mate, I know that not keeping promises is a sort of stock in trade for the British workman nowadays, and it doesn't matter much when we're only on local jobs. But it will on this contract. So let's start practicing to mean what we say, shall we?
You know what's the matter with you, don't you?
What?
Is that tender? Too many figures of the wrong sort. Get little Audrey to help you.
Audrey, eh?
Yeah, Audrey.
And where's she now?
She's gone to the corner shop for a couple of buns for me.
And when she comes back from the corner shop, she'll be going to the post office with your coupon.
Well, that's what office girls are for, running errands.
Yes, that's right, and that's why she can't be working out that tender. Not that Audrey could anyway. She's got a mental block about figures like me.
Well, the solution's simple, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, get Miss Nugent to help you out with the tender. She's marvellous at figures.
You know, Leonard, you can be very bright sometimes.
You know what they used to call it? I was serving my country initiative.
You know, I've always wondered what turned the tide on the invincible German war machine. It were you, weren't it?
When I saw curtains drawn, I thought you'd had a death-it family.
No, nothing as morbid as that, Mrs. Sharples. You see, I'm just trying to keep things as normal as possible for Stan. I mean, if he'd come off a normal day job, the curtains would be drawn. It being evening.
But it's morning.
No, not to Stan, it's evening.
Oh, you're trying to turn day into night, are you?
Exactly. No, you see, at present, he's having his after-tea snooze, then up for a bit of telly, and then to bed proper.
Television at this time of day?
Yeah, I must admit it's a bit of a problem. Best I can offer him this morning is a school's history programme on the Renaissance man or summit.
Renaissance man? Well, I'm not sure what a Renaissance man is, but I'll take odds it's not Stanley's cup of tea.
No. Still, you can only do your best.
Well, how long do you think it'll be before things start moving, Maggie?
Oh, I don't know. I'm in no special hurry. I mean, it's not as though I've got a queue of fellows waiting to take Les's place.
Yeah, I should have thought you had.
Meaning?
Oh, give up. It's only a joke.
Oh, I wonder. Anyway, I haven't worth a look.
Would you like to listen to some advice, Mrs. Clegg?
Well, it depends what sort, naturally.
Just don't let anything hold up your divorce. You'll feel a great weight's been taken off your shoulders when the final comes through.
Ah, but will I?
Well, I don't know. I should have thought so, Maggie. Your life with Les wasn't exactly one of bliss, was it?
No, but I did live with him for 20 years, you know, Elsie. It's a long time. I mean, you're bound to come across some nice things in anybody after 20 years, even a pathetic old boozer like Les. He was good company, easy to talk to. Sometimes, late at night, when I've not spoken to a soul after closing the shop, I think what a lot of talking me and Les did. What a lot of talking. And I miss that. Till I find somebody else to talk to, I suppose. Sure.
So long, Maggie. You see? Marriage. Even though it goes wrong, it needn't be a complete disaster.
Really?
Well, Maggie seems to have some fond memories of hers.
Fond memories? Somebody to chat to in the evenings? I can get that in the Rover's return.
Right, Chuck. Ta.
You're at it again, aren't you, Hilda? Eh? Rover's return tricks. Coming in late and pinching half an hour off the time to try and make up for it.
Oh, well, it's not the same, though, is it?
What isn't?
Well, I mean, I'm not practising on you. I got it to a fine art at Annie Walker's expense.
Oh.
What's going on then?
How do you mean?
Your Annie, charming.
It doesn't suit her. Definitely doesn't suit her.
Oh, I thought it did. Apart from hotels, it stops her talking so much.
Well,
Well, what?
what were you saying about me? You were obviously talking about me, your six eyes swivelling to my every movement.
It's just that we're not used to seeing you getting your hands dirty. They're your rubber gloves, anyway.
Len, Mr. Pickett, moments occur in everyone's life when one lets the tide ripple over one, when one has had as much as one can take. I am in the middle of such a moment. That is all.
Have you been thumping her, Jack?
No, not lately.
Ah, we're getting in a bit of a rut, aren't we?
How'd you make that out?
Keep brunching in here.
Well, we could go to the Regent Grill in Market Street.
How much will that set me back?
17 and 6, and if I had second...
No, you've convinced me. 2 spud pies, if you please.
Yeah, yes.
Ah, Einstein herself.
Pardon?
I have a proposition, Miss Nugent. Strictly proper, of course.
Proposition. That's a word I've come to distrust.
Oh, well, you'll be chock full of mystery and fascination.
Please, Raymond, come to the point. I'm really very busy.
Sorry. Well, we, that is me and Baron Fairclough, would like you to give us a hand with this tender.
No.
Well, it's just a plumbing...
It's quite impossible.
Well, I'm not asking you to marry one of us. It'd only take you a couple of days.
Miss Nugent!
No, Mr. Fairclough.
No, but...
I've just spoken to Ray.
It must be a funny day for women all round.
Turned you down over something, has she?
It seems like it. I just wanted to do some paperwork.
Fancy.
We'll get by, though.
Well, you know what they say.
No, what do they say?
The only thing funnier than a woman is underside of a mushroom.
Well, it's just that I don't want to put on you, love. I get all I want to eat at dinner time in here. Well, I just don't get hungry in the chair, you know.
Well, at least you could have pies at home. People will think I'm not looking after you.
All right, I'll wear a sign round my neck saying, now let's see, feeding only by permission of Mrs. Audrey
it's
Fleming.
not funny, Ray.
Well, it's not funny.
Blame you as much as anybody. What did I do?
Search me.
I'm getting a bit fed up with little Audrey snarling at me.
Hey, you're not going to fight over me, are you? Roll about, tearing one another's hair, ripping the dresses from your alabaster shoulders.
Don't be daft. She can have you.
Audrey Fleming, eh? Very nice. And what does she do for you?
She keeps the office tidy.
I see.
Hello, Elder.
Stan, been on nights.
Cyril. Cyril manages to sleep through all sorts. Suppose it's been years on night shift. He's used to it by now.
Thick-skinned.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, well, I mean, he's not that sensitive, is he? I mean, not like what my Stan is. And his hearing's always been very acute, you know, when he's wanted to hear.
Oh, dear.
Cold, chaps. Flaming cold.
Oh, sounds as though they're tossing it over the backyard wall, cob by cob.
I'll see to 'em. Hey, you, can you make less noise? Oh, of course you can be a bit quieter. You can wear something a bit quieter than clogs for a start. I'm not trying to teach you your job. All I'm saying is you could be a bit quieter. Hey, I saw you make that gesture. Yeah, that rude gesture. I'd fetch my husband to you if he wasn't resting from his labours. What do you mean, what sort of labour? Oh, you're disgusting, you. As well as having dirty ears. Let's put them in the place, all right. Skin them. I'll have their guts for garters. Right, I warned you. Go on out. Clear off and take your coal with you. Well, you got it out of the bags, didn't you? You should be able to get it back in again. Oh, you'd think they'd have more consideration. They are. I knew it. They've woke him up.
Means a lot to you, this plan to expand, doesn't it, Ernest?
I'll say it does. For the first time in my life, I feel I'm really going somewhere. In the world, that is.
I never suspected you were ambitious.
Of course I'm ambitious. Everybody is.
Not everybody.
The times I've stood here looking round thinking, this is it. This is your life, Ernest. This poky little hole yesterday, today, the day after. You'll still be grafting here while Karsh is in Ottawa and David Bailey's anywhere. That's one of the troubles about being a failure in a glamorous job. I mean, a lathe operator knows that all he's got is lathe operating. Poor chap. But a photographer these days, the world's your oyster. Or should be.
Then expanding the business will sort of compensate for your world being something of a periwinkle.
Exactly. Well, between you and me, I don't think I'd like Ottawa. I'd rather have had the North American continent when it was still full of Red Indians. Well, I must be off. I've got the mayor to do. They bought him a new chain of office. Rumour hath it that he sleeps with it in bed. I wonder what his wife thinks.
Bishop's photographers, we improve on nature. Oh, hello, Mr. Piggott. No, nothing's changed. Yes, of course I know Audrey Fleming. She's a friend of mine. I'd be glad if you didn't involve her. I said I'd be glad if you didn't Hello? Hello?
Afternoon, Mrs. Walker.
Good afternoon.
I see. Like that, is it?
Like what?
I'm not entitled to miss coming to clean just for one day. Not entitled to stop here and see to the comfort of my husband, who's having to lead an unnatural life in order to keep the home going.
Mrs. Ogden, I couldn't care less if you failed to come in to clean 1 day, 10 day, or 10,000 days. You decide if and when. It's entirely your business. I have given up the struggle. Good day.
I see. Doesn't matter whether I come or not then, eh? All my years of slaving for you counts for nothing, does it? Cast aside like an old shoe hammer. Typical! Typical! Whack.
Trying to get some sleep, is he?
Things all right, Mr. Walker?
Oh, so long as I don't dwell too deeply on them.
Yeah, they say thinking's bad for you, don't they?
They're not far wrong there, you know. I'm always happiest when I'm vegetating, as Annie calls it.
By heck, there's one thing I miss not living in this street.
Oh, what's that, Mrs. Sharples?
Watching the Ogdens up to their antics. Stan's just been yelling blue murder at her through bedroom window.
They are funny, aren't they?
Well, you can always come back in, There's room at Albert's.
Are you trying to get me talked about, Jack Walker? No, I'll stop where I am. You can get too close to folk.
Yeah, that's true enough. I'm always dreaming of a big detached house with a big garden and a big wall round it. And a no hawkers sign on the gate.
Oh, that's taking it too far. I reckon if he'd meant us to live as separated as that, he'd have made us dumb for a start. It's use of having a voice if you never see anybody to talk to. No, I like me flat. It's not too new. It's not too nice. It'll see me for the rest of my time.
You like living at the shop then, do you, Mrs. Sharples?
I've just said so, though sometimes I wonder why I do.
Why?
Planting myself so near a face as miserable as yours.
Here. Trying to be Bobby Charlton. Red Rex the place for football, not the street. Especially when you're using an empty tin of rice pudding for a ball. I've got my husband in there trying to sleep. Hey, missus! What? Drop dead! You cheeky young monkey! I'll belt you till you're black and blue!
Hey, steady on, love. And me bringing you messages.
What messages?
From your loving husband, who are caught sneaking down the back entry.
He's up, is he?
Up and about. He says he's trying to get somewhere for a bit of peace.
I were only trying to keep things quiet for him.
How's that?
It'll do.
Thanks for nothing.
What did you expect me to say? You've only trimmed it.
Forget it.
Suits me.
What am I supposed to have done, Audrey?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course you do. You've not said a single word to me for weeks.
Oh, you're imagining things.
Since me and Ray got engaged, as a matter of fact. Are you jealous of me or something?
Oh, don't be daft. I'm married, remember?
I hadn't forgotten, but I wondered if you had. I mean, I had well, I was stuck on Ray, you were.
You've got that the wrong way about. It was Ray that was stuck on me.
Please yourself, I couldn't care less. It's all in the past now. It's me he's stuck on.
Yeah, but would he have been? If he'd been normal and not tied to a wheelchair?
I don't know, love. Audrey?
6 and 6.
Thank you, love. Everything all right?
Might be, in the Canary Islands.
Well, we don't usually have that effect on our customers.
Buy these hairsprays, Mrs. Tanner, and you'll never have that effect on them. Barbara Castle will come and have her hair done here. The Queen will arrange a royal trip so she can slip in here to get her ends clubbed. You will be appointed to Crufts.
We have just bought a stock.
At this price?
No.
What a silly question,
Eh?
anyway. As if you could buy hairsprays at this price anywhere. They'll probably be the bargain of the 70s, an economic breakthrough.
Oh, that's what worries me.
Tell me what worries you. Tell me and I'll put your mind at rest in 10 short words. These hairsprays do not need defending with rhetoric.
Right. Why is it that these hairsprays are at such a bargain price?
Why?
Well, that's what I just said. Why are these there?
Mrs. Tanner, How well are you in with your boss?
What's that got to do with it?
Only that buying these hairsprays will send your stock so high, he'll probably tell you how much he's got in the bank. Besides leaving his wife for you.
He's not married, and besides, you haven't answered my question.
What question?
Why are these...
Supposing I put my cards on the table.
I thought you were going to do that sooner or later.
I am married.
With 10 kids.
3, and I'm broke.
How broke?
Flat. Making a go of this job could, well, alter things. Put me on my feet. Put them on their feet. Wearing shoes as well.
The 10 kids.
And 3 kids.
You do remind me of him.
Who's that?
Are you quite sure in your travels you never did meet a Dennis Tanner?
Oh, him again. No, not that I remember.
Well, you and him would have got on very well if you ever did meet. Let me see now. The price hasn't changed since yesterday, has it?
No, but it will tomorrow. Double, I shouldn't wonder. You are a very lucky and perceptive woman, Mrs. Tanner.
Yeah.
Isn't business lovely? No dirty hands, no industrial diseases, and no trumpet calls for workers' solidarity. Well, I'll see you again when I've got another gift to offer. Bye.
Elsie? Do you think Ray's only gone for me because I'm best he can manage? Him being like he is?
Oh, I don't know, do I?
You have no hope to me, are you?
Oh, love, I didn't mean it that way. It's just that... Well, I'm not in the mood for discussing you and Ray. It's just that... Well, a little dicky bird tells me that I made a blunder. A very big blunder.
You know, I've been making a study of Stanley in there.
Stanley needs some studying, like all rare animals.
I've come to the conclusion that he's an intellectual.
Intellectual Stanley.
With not much intellect.
What's he doing here, anyway?
Well, he came in the yard a few minutes ago and he said he wanted to kip for a bit.
Next thing you know, he's got his head down and he's making a noise like a bath emptying.
He's certainly sound asleep.
Yeah, I tried to apologise for doing a bit of sawing, and he muttered something about it sounding like a lullaby.
What are you going to do when you want to lock up?
Oh, he'll be out soon enough.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. He looks as though he's in for the winter.
You must be joking. The boozers open at 5:30, don't
Ah,
they?
yes, of course. Well, thanks for the tea, Len. Will you come and fix that blocked-up sink?
I'll call in on my way home, OK?
All right, thank you. Excuse me, Ray.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to try and crack that tender tonight.
Oh, we've got another week yet. I couldn't turn Alan down.
But, mate, we've got to keep turning down these fiddling little jobs when we start this contract we have.
All right, when we start.
Hey, Len.
Yeah?
Your heart is in this contract, isn't it? I mean, really in it. Because I couldn't take the strain if you started losing interest. Not like I did last time.
What do you take me for?
Do you really want me to answer that?
Yeah, otherwise I wouldn't have asked.
What a marvellous opportunity.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm fireproof, aren't I, on this thing? I mean, I can tell you what I think of you and not get me ear bent.
Go on, be my guest.
All right, mate. I think you're a very good operator, and not just with a hammer in your hand.
I'll agree to that.
But unfortunately...
Well, go on. Like you said, you're fireproof.
You're a donkey.
A what?
You're not at your best unless somebody's either tanning your backside or dangling a carrot in front of you.
Well, everybody needs encouragement.
No, mate, not everybody. Not the real grafters. And it's the grafters who conquer the world. While them who are waiting for encouragement are either on drugs or sleeping like that out there.
Is that it, then?
I could go on.
Well, there's no point. I think you've said what you wanted to. But I'll tell you something.
Be my guest.
I'm turned 40, and I don't think I'll change.
I know, mate.
Yeah, well, so long as you do know.
Oh, I do, Len. I do.
Len Fairclough. Yeah, fine, yeah. Oh, anytime you like. Tonight, tomorrow. Fine, thank you. Miss Nugent. She's going to help us with the tender. And a change of heart.
Well?
I can start when I choose.
Good. Now, cheer up, love. It's only a little favour. You should be glad you can do it for me.
I've no choice, have I?
Not really, love, no.